Today, we're here again on Health and Worth to have a very interesting conversation, as always. And I'm excited today because we're bringing in a guest, a very first guest for our podcast. On this episode, we want to discuss about role models and the important role that they play in our lives to make sure they give us a picture of what we can become or what we could become to inspire us. And this is especially an episode for young people out there that are looking for people that they may emulate, people to look up to, and make sure that as they are chasing their goals, they have somebody that can inspire them. Today, I'm going to be joined by a new lawyer in town, an incredible woman that is very big at role modeling and also mentoring young people so that they could reach their full potential. So friends, make sure that you stay tuned as we discuss this, and also don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like and share it to your friends that you're very sure that they will benefit from this episode. Be there. Okay, so welcome to Health and Wealth.
Thank you so much. So good to be here.
Thank you. And we're very excited and glad that after we called, you actually made time to say the truth. We don't take it for granted. You are our first guest, which means when we also reach our goals, as we always say, friends, we're chasing goals. We're going to you're going to be one of the people that we thank to say, you were there for us.
No, thank you very much. I really enjoy the podcast and I watch every episode. And I was even joking with Kelvin that I know she's going to ask me one question. So I prepared, but very good to be here.
Okay, so maybe just introduce yourself to our audience so that people know you.
Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Alice Malunga and I'm a lawyer. I was at the University of Malawi, and I know you asked me more questions, but we'll get into that. Yeah.
Yes, we will. Yeah. So this is Alice Malunga, and being one of the female lawyers, young lawyers in Malawi, we thought she's a very good role model. And also, you stand a good chance to actually talk about role modeling for other people, to be role models and also to have role models in their life. And maybe just to start, how would you describe who a role model is?
Okay. So for my definition of who a role model is or who a mentor is someone who has been where you want to go and who has accomplished what you want to accomplish, and their endurance makes them a good candidate to guide you.
Yeah.
So this is a definition that I read in one of the books that I was reading, and I think it's really true because life often feels like you're walking or moving through a fog.
Yeah.
And you have someone who has been where you want to be at the end of the road. So they're there now to guide you, to say, hey, there's a curve at the end of this road.
Yeah.
And you need to take that turn. You need to take this. You're going faster than you should. You're going slower than you should.
Yeah.
So I think it's someone who just points you how you can move and how to be successful.
Wow, that's a very good introduction and a very good definition to what a role model is. And I should read that book.
You should read that book. I will. It's by Mike Marduk.
Okay, nice intro. So from this definition that it's a person that inspires you, a person that has been there where you want to be, and they can guide you through direct interaction, and some role models also they can guide you just by looking up to them from a distance. So why do you think these role models matter?
Well, I think they matter really because you can't go the distance that you want to go alone. You really need someone to guide you, to say, hey, you are taking the wrong direction, you're taking the wrong turn.
Yeah.
Because like I said at the beginning, that you want to go a certain place, but you can't guide yourself to a place you've never been before.
Yeah.
So it's someone who just says, hey, if you want to reach here, then you have to do this and that. And also I think it's possible that you can go the direction yourself, because there have been places where no one has ever been, and maybe that's where you want to go.
Exactly.
So you have to charter the path yourself. But in most of the cases, they really just flag you. And I think you also spend less time making mistakes that you'd have avoided by just talking to someone. So I think they're sort of like a lifeline that is thrown at you to say, hey, come up if you want to come here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to young people out there, we know most of our audience are young people, that some are still in school or they've just started working. What would you tell them about the importance of having role models in their lives?
Yeah. No, I would suggest that you find someone in your industry. It could be you're still in school, and maybe you're in secondary school, you're in the university, or maybe you just started working. Find someone who has maybe gone through college, someone who is working, has spent years, and their life has proven to be successful. Ask them questions, because also the mentors or the role models will only address you if you ask the right questions, or if you ask the questions.
Yep.
Because they can't talk to you if you're not asking questions. So you might end up meeting someone who is very influential, but you don't ask questions. All you want to do is maybe take pictures with them, but you don't want to learn from them. So it's also really good to ask good questions and ask the right questions, find someone and follow them. It might not always be someone who is physically present. It could also be someone you just watch on YouTube. I learn a lot from female CEOs. I have a lot of women I'm actually looking up to and saying, I really like how you exude your confidence. I really like how you speak. I really like how you carry yourself, your vision for the company. And these are powerful women leading very big organizations. So it's really about following. Follow those. Even the Bible says, follow those who through faith and patience have overcome. So it's really about just following those who have really done it. So find yourself someone. It doesn't always have to be someone physical, but if you're a lawyer, I would say maybe look up, okay, who is really an international lawyer who's doing a lot of things, who is heading this organization, who is heading that organization, and from that you actually learn.
That's good. And I think I agree with you a lot to say people need to know you. And if you're following our story, you might have watched our last episode that we talked about this, to say, if people don't know what you're doing, they don't know you, then, there are limited places that you can go to. People, if you want to have a role model, if somebody is a physical role model, make sure they know you, make sure they know your story, and also tell them the actual things that you like about them, so that when they are guiding you and they are assisting you, they know what you're looking for. Because as a whole human being, there are specific aspects that you appreciate about a person, and you have to let them know, so that they guide you through those the steps that they took towards those characteristics that they have. That was very nice. So, who would you say was your first role model?
Okay, so I was privileged that I grew up with an older brother. You might all know Kelvin Malunga. And I think he has always been my role model. And he has been quite a big inspiration for me. And he's one of those people who I really attribute a lot of my life to, because growing up, I wasn't always confident. I wasn't the best student all the time. And really, society tends to shun those people away. But he could see the potential that was in me. He could see that he would talk really good words to me. He would say the things that I could become. And even me doing law is attributed to him because we were just having conversations. So you could actually do this. And he would sit me down, teach me, when I'm struggling with school, he would sit me down and he would tell me, these friends will not help you. And at that point, we all need that. Yes. I thought, why are you saying that? These are my friends for life. Yeah. But it really ended up to be true that he was guiding my life. He was, so my biggest role model has been my brother, my biggest mentor. And I'm really thankful because you really need someone, sometimes you not only approach the person, but someone sees you and says, you have great potential. You can actually do anything that you set your mind to do. So my brother has always been that voice of reason, that voice of correction, that voice of you can do this. And I think he is still the biggest role model. The other day I was just telling him, I'm so inspired by how you have great ideas and you just go for it. Yeah, that's and also true. So just learning from him as well. I mean, he's starting great businesses. Yeah. His thinking is very good and like you really learn from him if you sit down with him. So he's my biggest, he was my first and still is my role model. And I think during the teenage years, we would read a lot growing up, and he found a woman called Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. So we would read her books all the time, watch her TED Talks, and she also shaped most of our ideologies growing up. Like you can actually do anything, and it was him helping me see that hey, there are actually women who are in these positions who are doing great, and who think that just because you're a woman, it doesn't mean that you need to be, you know, below or something. And I'm very thankful because even with him, he didn't make me feel like you're a girl, you can't do this. Because like, you should do it. You can't do anything. So yes, my brother has been one of my greatest, source of inspiration. That's so nice. Yeah. I know he's smiling, hey. But it is so true. And in the week, I watched one of the TED Talks that talked about you don't choose your role models choose you. And I'm attributing what was said in there a lot to what you've just said, to say sometimes it's not about you at the moment you thinking that this is my role model. What they are doing right now is what I want to become. Sometimes there are people that always look after you. There are people that are constantly reminding you of the power that you have, of the greatness that you could become. And these are people that are also role models that consciously or unconsciously, they are mentoring you through life, you know, and it's very important when you have such kind of people to listen to them, because most of us, we've been in situations where maybe the friendships that we made, as you said, couldn't have taken us anywhere, unless somebody else came to say, you know, my mom was one of those, like she would say point blank, so like, you know, and you go like, but over time you start to realize that this is why my mom said, or my brother said, he doesn't want to see this friend in my life. You know? So it's very important. And really friends shape a lot of, if you're thinking about going far, the kind of friends you keep, it really matters because you become part of the flock. So whatever they're doing, yours, and also you just want to surround yourself with people who inspire you to do more, who inspire you to be better. If your goal is to pray more, be more spiritual, then you want to surround yourself with people who are doing that. And you can compartmentalize, in that sense. I'm saying that, you know, if you want someone who is only guiding you in career, you know, you can go after that person. Not only, like your role model doesn't always have to be a holistic person who inspires you for church things or career and things like that. You know, some people are great with businesses. You know, some people are great with careers. Some people are great maybe if you're trying to raise children. Some people are great with school and academics. So you really just want to surround yourself with a circle that will take you where you need to go. And for that also, you need to sit down with yourself and say, what do I want for myself? Where do I want to go? And you might not always have a clear picture, but at least just say, I want to be determined to reach a particular goal. Yeah. And I know you've talked about goal setting. Yes. So it really is important because it also shapes who you talk to and the role models you actually surround yourself with, because you know where you're going and where you want to be. Yeah. That's you make a very good point to say having role models begins from yourself. You need to know yourself. There has to be an aspect of self-awareness. And when you understand yourself, you understand your vision and your goals, that's when you can start looking for people that can support you towards those goals. And it's going to be based on different characters. There are a lot of imperfections in people, even the people that are our role models, but you need to be intelligent enough to follow the things that are necessary and that are applying to what you're looking for in that particular person. For example, I'll give an example of a lot of politicians. I'm sure here in Malawi, if somebody were to find a role model as a politician, there would be a lot of them. But one of the days you wake up and you find out that they have been implicated in corruption cases. And so if you believe that there's still a character in that person that you follow, you take that characteristic and everything else is going to be outside. So you need to have other role models, again, that can guide you through spiritual life, your career, your academic life, as you put it. And I like the way you put it. Okay. So do you think over time your role models have changed or you have added other role models, and why has that happened? Yeah, definitely. I think over the years you also meet different people and different people taking you different places. Yeah. And even when I went to school, I had different mentors, had different leaders. And even now I'm still adding on to people I'm watching online or following online and seeing based on where I want to go. And that happens because you really, you keep building up. Yeah. So step by step, precept by precept, brick by brick. Yeah. Right. So as high, when you're building, the farther you go up, the farther you need maybe someone else to come in to say, hey, here we do this and that. For instance, I like to look more international because it's the vision that I have. It's what I want to do. I don't want to be constrained with Malawi. I love maybe the characteristics of lawyers in Malawi, but maybe there's something else that I want to add to myself. And I'm like, okay, how can I do that? Yeah. Well, is there anyone who in Malawi who has gone international with their practice or their profession? Yes. Who do I talk to? And I have those, I know Malawians who are working outside, who are great lawyers and doing great things. So it really just adds up. And also your mentor usually introduces you to new circles. Yeah. So you see that it's not very rigid. It's not a rigid circle, but it's something that keeps adjusting according to needs. So it really also happens organically. So you also don't have to force it to say, okay, I think, but it really just happens organically, that as you're moving, as you're applying yourself, as you're doing what they're telling you to do, it really just organically starts expanding and adding to the vision. Yeah. That's good to hear. So I agree with you that you have to look at the role person. And one thing that I have found out, and I agree with you the most, is, sometimes people are just coming out with this perfect picture that when you're trying to take them up as your role models, you start feeling inferior. Instead of them inspiring you, now they're just that component that makes you feel all the bad things about yourself, because they are not saying the real story about them. They are not talking about the battles that they have fought to get where they are. And it is very important to find those people that show the kind of endurance that they have been through, And also, at Health and Wealth, we're very big at vision, to make sure that when you're starting your journey, you need to have a vision
You need to have a bigger picture, a reason why you're doing what you're doing, so that when you are making those goals and working towards them, you know that your goals are pouring into the bigger vision. And also it's going to help you as you're looking for role models, that role models support your vision. And as you said, there should be people that have the vision. You can't blindly follow that people that do not know where they're going. And this should take me to the next question that I want to ask you. Nowadays, I feel like social media has negatively impacted what the picture of what a role model is. And usually for us young people, we're just looking at all these people that have made a lot of money that is not even, you can't explain where the money is coming from. And that's what you want. You're looking at the product, not the journey. What would you tell somebody who wants to find positive role models in this chaos of social media and celebrity life?
No, yeah, that's actually true, because I think social media paints a very minimal picture of what it really takes to be successful or to make it in a certain field. Because all you see are reels, just 30 seconds of someone's life that they came from this and this is, and even I saw some reel, it was talking about someone's fitness journey, that they were overweight and now they lost weight. But there isn't really a reel about, okay, so it was really challenging. There were days where I wanted to give up and actually didn't want to go. And there were days where I was crying. You see very few of those. It's just the highlights, the big moments. But then I think it also comes to say, okay, like what you said, the vision that you have. Okay, what do I want? And even when you're watching the reels, you actually know that this is not serving the vision that I want to get to. So I think also talking to someone like the mentor, the role model, who will be able to direct you and guide you to say, hey, I think there's this person you should watch. Or I think, oh, hey, here's a link. Do this, do that. I get that a lot from my leaders, that they give me links on how do you speak confidently? How do you speak well? How do you speak in a meeting? How do you walk when you walk in a room? How do you see things like that you think don't matter, but because someone sent you a link and someone showed you that, hey, I came across this, I think you can learn from it. So I think it also really comes to the people you're talking to, the role models, the mentors, and what they're sending you, and you can really start from there before you take it on yourself to say, okay, I think this is the kind of content I need to be following more. And you can just go on YouTube and follow, several people. You can even literally, if you want to maybe improve in confidence, maybe how you speak, you can literally say confidence or how to speak confidently, how to maybe look elegant, how to, address a client, how to conduct a meeting, how do I manage a case, and things like that. They're all over. I like to call YouTube as YouTube University, because really
you can find anything.
Really, there's no skill that you can't learn from YouTube. So it really just becomes, okay, be intentional about your social media platforms, because the why I don't really like TikTok is that the first thing when you get on the app, it's reels and reels, and you end up spending so much time. Even Instagram now, you just keep scrolling. So for me, it's okay. I want to be intentional about how I spend my time, and so I would avoid those. And I like maybe YouTube, because I'm going to search something that is helpful for me, and I'm going to learn. Even TikTok, you can use TikTok wisely. It doesn't always have to be motivational stuff. Something about business, but you can actually censor your YouTube. I mean your TikTok or your social media by just saying, I'm not interested in this content, and the algorithms actually censor everything. So maybe in a day you spend 1 hour on TikTok or social media, at least you see something inspiring, something that will stick with you, not just fun. So I think there's also a way you can use social media to advance your goals. You can find role models that really speak to what you want and show you the journey. So yes, there's that aspect of, it doesn't say the whole picture, but there's also an aspect of, you can actually search out people's journey and learn from them. So don't just go with the things that the algorithm is feeding you. You can also like go search. What do you want to learn? So I like the points that you made in the previous episodes that, write down the vision. I saw Kelvin got a book and he started writing that. Yes, write down those things. Even if you want to speak confidently, write it down. And then you go out there and then you start searching and doing the work. So there's also a way you can positively use social media.
All right. That's good. And if you've been there, you also know that in our last episode, when we're talking about self-learning, we tackled on these issues to say the algorithm is not random. It feeds you what you are, what you want. The more likes you put on dancing videos, the more dancing videos are going to appear on your timeline. But you have to be intentional. You have to, with your life. If you want to be someone greater one day, then you have to work as such. You have to work toward that. Life is not, doesn't happen to you by chance. And being successful is not just a function of luck. It's actually the work that you put in each and every day, even in the smallest details. And as you have said, even how you use your social media time, you have to show that you're somebody that really is looking to be somebody. If somebody was to open your Facebook right now, what is the feed that is coming? What are people that are your friends? I really feel bad sometimes when I'm unfriending friends that I made in college. But the thing about, for example, Facebook or even Instagram is people that are your friends. Later on, everybody choose what they want to post. Either they have naked pictures or they're just talking negative about some people. Especially people that like talking negative things about women. I don't hesitate to, because I'm like, I'm a woman and I'm waking up to you saying this about me. I feel bad, but I still go ahead and do it because I tell myself I don't want that negativity in my life. And that's the same way you can filter out role models. I know right now with social media, all these people that, post nice things about themselves, we want to be like them. We want to follow that. But do we really understand their life, their real life, what they have gone through? So you need to know what you're looking for in a person for them to become your role model. You can't just blindly follow because, she has 2 million followers, or she's driving a Jeep, so she has. No, it doesn't go like that. Does their vision fit into a component of your life, and that's why you want to follow them? I like that. So do you see yourself as a role model?
Yes, I believe so, because I think sometimes it's not a title. It's not a position. It's influence. So are you in a position of influence? Do people look up to you? Or maybe it could even just be your day-to-day lives and someone is just being inspired. So there's an indirect mentorship or maybe being a role model where, someone just looks up to you. They've never met you. They're just, looking at the steps that you're taking that you put out there and they're just inspired. So it's that aspect of influence. If you have influence, then you are some form of role model and you are some form of a leader. Because really, I think mentorship also does connect to leadership, that it really just speaks to, are you able to influence someone? And I think being a role model is such also a big responsibility as well, because even for you as a person, the role model, you want to, the decisions that you make, you're not just thinking about yourself anymore. You're thinking about others. How will this influence other people? Because you know that you're not just living your life for yourself, you're living it for others as well. And really, it can be uncomfortable to be a role model or a mentor or a leader, because you take certain decisions that otherwise you wouldn't. They're uncomfortable. But you have to, because really life is about lifting others as you go. You don't always have to figure everything out to be a role model. You don't have to have it perfect. You know, all the things that you know, the little things that you know, someone doesn't know. So I think that yes, I am a role model. I have some form of influence. And everyone has that platform now with your social media. Are you encouraging people using your posts, your status? You could have some form of influence. And I think that that's where now you start building up that role as a role model to say, okay, I need to be intentional about this because people are being inspired. People are looking up to me, you know? And so I think a lot of us could actually be in that position. It's not a title. It's not because someone has chosen you. It's not because you're giving advice to someone. Even just as simple as how you live your life.
So now that we have come to realize that we're role models in some way, knowingly or unknowingly, how would you say people out there, everybody out there, we should conduct ourselves knowing that there are people that are looking up to us in some way, and what we do affects them? And I'm asking this question because I know our lives are not all about positive things, but we should try as much to be positive in our community. So how can someone be that positive role model? And also, in the same question, how can young people that are looking to model others, how can they find positive role models?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's just also about storytelling, telling your story. It could be on a status, just encouraging people, and you know, just bringing out positivity out there, because the world today is really lacking of, you know, just someone who is encouraging, someone who is motivating, someone who can just say, I believe in you. It could be a status. You wouldn't know who you're talking to, but someone is watching out there and is being inspired. You know, I've had people who say, oh, your status is actually inspiring me. So it was a time when we were in second year, and we had this module that was very challenging. Everyone talks about it, right? But then for me, it was, I don't want to complain about it, right? So every time I'm having difficulty with that challenge, and I know that my classmates are also having the same difficulty, I'll just post something encouraging, like don't stop or keep going. And, you know, it's just something like that. And I didn't think it was much. At the point, I was just encouraging myself, you know, encourage yourself. And someone actually came to me at the end of the semester and said, oh my goodness, your status has really motivated me, and they kept me going. I was so surprised because I wasn't posting to have influence or to be a role model, to mentor someone, but I was just like, we really need to encourage each other. And, you know, posting that, oh, these things are hard, tough times are lasting, like, it won't help anyone.
It will not.
But at least be the light, you know, be the light that guides others. So you can just start by just telling your story. If you're going through something, you know, tell your story and how you overcame it. And if you're, you know, it doesn't help to like also just complain and things like, find something that you can find strength in. Yes, and even if it's just posting maybe an encouraging verse on your status or your social media, or just, you know, you see someone in the library and they don't look fine, and you just go say hi and you talk to them, try to cheer them up. It really doesn't take much. It's really not in what you do or the characters or how you conduct yourself. It's really just seeing a need and, you know, going after it. So for me, I'd give an example of the module that was so difficult. Instead of complaining about it with everyone else, I chose, I'm going to encourage others. And in the same vein as well, I was also encouraged because we were going through a similar thing. So I think it's just those positive words. And for young people looking for people who can inspire them, people who they can emulate, it's really, how does the person make you feel? Do you feel like you can take on the world? Do you think you are better off, you know, your thinking is better off when you see these persons post, when you spend time with them? Do they inspire you to challenge yourself more, you know, take on things that are seemingly difficult, things that you would otherwise not have done? So it really is just those people, try to get more of that. Try to get more of it. And the more you go, the more you also become one yourself, because you want to share the same kind of wisdom, the same lessons that you got from others, and now you help heal others, how you help, take others on their journey as well. So it's really lifting as you go, and the other person is also lifting. And then at the end of the day, you have a big chain of people lifting each other, and it's a whole community of people who are encouraged and strong to go on.
That's nice. Cascade. Make sure that the knowledge that you have, the wisdom that you have, even just the strength that you have, you're using that same thing. Let it trickle down to other people so that other people feel the same way that you're feeling. And it doesn't have to be negative. There's so much negativity in this world these days. Be the light. As Alice has said, be the light that can guide other people through their darkest times. We don't have to always discourage each other.
Yes.
Moving on, do you think there are less female role models for girls?
Yes, I think so, because, we're coming from a history that women are not really doing a lot of big things. So there are, upcoming role models. There are women who are doing a lot. And it now isn't a thing anymore that, it's a woman, she's in this position. So now it's like, a big thing. It's less surprising, but it's still shocking that the numbers are still low. And I think we would do well to encourage each other among ourselves, to say, you can actually do this. You don't have to limit yourself or think you're a girl. I don't think that should be a factor in your thinking when you think about your vision, where you want to go. I don't think your gender should matter. What do you want to do? And go for it. There have been girls who have gone to the moon, who have gone out of space, headed big organizations. There are still some who are heading big organizations. And it's really just, hey, let's carry each other. Let's lift as we go. Let's lift others. So I think we have fewer, but it's not as low as it used to be. And we have women like you who are inspiring young students and things like that. And it really is motivating to see that, there's this now new breed of women who actually is standing up and saying, no, we can't let our gender define us. We're not confined to homes, but we can actually do something with our lives. We can be career women. Even if you're a stay-at-home mom, you do it with so much grace and much, because that's leadership.
It is.
You're raising people, and it's not a small thing, not to demean it. It's really, but looking at it from, don't demean it, take on everything that you're doing with, enthusiasm, take it on with so much courage, put color to it. If you're raising kids, raise them with color, raise them with confidence, as if you're, doing, career, because essentially you're building people, and you're building young leaders as well. So we really are seeing a lot of women who are taking up that confidence. I think it's a confidence thing, because it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. You don't have to always be in a big position to be seen as a role model. But we're seeing more confidence in women to say, hey, we can be more daring, we can be more bold, and we can take on bigger challenges.
It's very brilliant, actually. And I just want to put a message out there from what Alice has said, to say the problem is not that we don't have enough female role models. Nowadays we do, actually. But it's now a matter of, as women, how are we supporting each other? How are we helping each other build that confidence that some other women lack? Because some women are still in situations that are still growing up in environments that demean them. So it's our responsibility to now recognize them and help to build them up. And nowadays, I don't see a lot of that when it comes to women. And trust me, men help each other a lot. Either it's just business referrals, or, just saying you can do it, even the nicknames they give each other. You're like Chief, Madara, big names that you're listening to them. Maybe they have small businesses and they're calling each other tycoon. That's so uplifting.
Yes.
And that's what we need as women. We need that. We need our friends to come to us and tell us, the best mom in the world, like the best female teacher, all that. Because in as much as we have fewer women still taking up big roles, but where we are ourselves, we can also support each other as we are on the journey to go to greatness. So I like what you've said. So anything that you would like to tell our audience out there today pertaining to role models before I ask you the last question?
I think what comes to mind with that question is a speech that Theodore Roosevelt said, and it's The Man in the Arena. And it says that the essence of it is, don't mind what others are saying you're doing wrong or you could have done better.
Yeah.
Because the credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, who is doing the thing. So in your doing your life, in your doing your career, in your taking on new roles, don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the people like, no, you should have done this, should have done that, because all they are is people in the audience. They haven't been in the arena. They don't know what it feels like. Because it goes on to say they don't know the joy of a great win. They also don't know the joy of failing, or maybe the lessons you get from there. So dare boldly. If you're doing it, do it boldly, do it loudly, do it proudly, that this is what I'm doing and this is what I'll carry on doing. And I won't let anyone's voice stop me. So be bold, be loud about what you're doing, be proud about what you're doing, because you're the man in the arena, you're the girl in the arena, you're the woman in the arena. It's up to you, because others haven't even dared to try to even think of doing what you're doing. So continue doing it and do it even bigger.
That's nice and uplifting. I can't even add anything to that. It says it all. So my last question to you, Alice, you've been mentioning a lot about mentors. I know that our discussion was on role models, but I also know you can't talk about role models without talking about mentors. So I just want you to clear it out for our friends out there. How can they define a mentor that is different from a role model? And also, who is this mentor different from a role model, or the same as the role model? Yeah.
No, definitely. I think they can be used interchangeably, but there's also a difference.
Yeah.
Because a role model can be someone you're just seeing on the internet.
Yes.
It can just be someone you like. There's something about you that I just like. I like how you exude your confidence. I like how you talk. I like how you're conducting your meetings. That could be a role model. That's someone you look up to, someone you say, I think in my vision, I would want my life to look like how yours is looking like.
Yeah.
But a mentor is really involved in the mud. They're in the mud with you.
Yes.
They know most about your life, the part that you allow them to enter.
Yeah.
So they know the room very well. If you're doing something silly, they're able to stop you in your tracks and say, you're not doing it. You're really, so it's really someone you allow access to your life to say, okay, lead me on this journey. And I think the problem is that most people look at that and they think, oh, maybe someone is controlling me. But no, it's someone guiding you, right? Yes. Because they've been where you want to go, as we said in the beginning. So they know that if you take this step, you end up here, and that's not where you want to go. So it's that access you give them, and you say, hey, help me. And then they're able to say, this you're not doing right. This, you should do it like this, like that, like that. And they're able to structure your life, able to guide you. If you're getting into business, they're able to say, hey, have you tried reading this book? read this book, watch this person, you know, have you done this, have you done that? I think your business could go here, could go there. What do you think? So it's not like they're guiding, but they're controlling, but they're guiding you to say, there's a new light you need to see. There's something else you need to see. So I define a mentor as someone who is really involved in your life, and they have that they have that position, that it's not just a position, but they have that authority to say, this is not going well and you should do this and that. And you're also able to communicate with them openly, the challenges, the successes, the things that you're going through. Sometimes it could just be telling a story like, oh, hey, I went to work today. I had a client and they were not speaking nicely to me, but I didn't say anything. And in that situation, you don't know what to do, but these people have been in the place, in the situation you've been in, and they'll say, no, this is what you do, this is what you say, because they've tried out, they've made their mistakes, and you save time, you save, and it could apply in school, it could apply in business. So really, like even for school, someone giving you a book to say, hey, read this, you're studying wrong. There's such a thing as studying wrongly, you know, because people are working hard, but you end up finding,
wrong direction.
Why is this not working? But I'm actually working hard. So it's really that, you know, they help you see a different light. That it's not just about working hard, it's working intentionally. Do this, do that. How you don't have to write notes, you don't have to regurgitate everything, process things. So it's really just that for me. Like a role model is someone you just look up to, maybe from a distance, someone you're learning from. A mentor is really someone who is involved in the mud with you. When you're crying, they're there to comfort you. When you're winning, they're also there to like, hey, we've come far. And they're able to help you see that, hey, don't give up. You know, there's still this you have to get through. And, you know, you get through this. And I think like what I said, my brother was that, like, has been that for me, because always encouraging me, you know, telling me the direction, giving me advice on how to do school, how to be better, and, you know, helping me with math, from failing mathematics to having some form of a distinction, which was very surprising. My parents were so surprised. They were so surprised when it happened. But yes, that's the power of a mentor. They're able to take you from a place where you don't even think much of yourself to a place where you actually believe in yourself and you're doing great things. And it's really a blessing to have someone like that.
Nice. Being someone in academia, I understand what you're saying, because our part of career, we can't navigate it without mentors. And mentors they form a big part of our life. Like, you know, almost you have people that you talk to every day. You have people that you ask every question, and they take you through the steps. Through you're actually making sure, it's like they take over your life to some sort, and they guide you until you reach there, and you also get other people under your wing to start mentoring them. And from our last episode, we know that here at Health and Wealth, we're very big at encouraging people to have mentors. Make sure you have someone that you not only just look up to, but they are guiding you. They know you personally. Last week we were discussing about send that weird email to those big people. Tell them that you admire them. Tell them what you feel like your future is looking like. And by them looking at that, that's when they will know to say, no, you know what? This is not how you're going to get here. I got here by doing this. Maybe combine what you're doing now and a little bit of what I did, and it will take you there. And trust me, these are people that you should have. And it can't be one person. One thing that I realized along my research life is I started with one mentor, and he was he's male. He's still my mentor. When I finished school and I started working, 2 years down the line, I realized that he cannot mentor me in all the things that I would like to become. There are some things that I can't just tell him. And as a female research scientist, I realized that I also need a female scientist who can mentor me, because I might feel some things just because, mentally women, we pass through some things that only a fair woman will understand, and I needed that. And that helped me to understand that you cannot have enough mentors. You are going to have a lot of mentors in your life, starting from our parents. They have those aspects in them that we admire, and those are the people that we should also emulate. And I just wanted us to clear out to say, in as much as we have these role models, you need to have people that you can directly talk to, that can directly help you. And as Alice has put it, I like it to say the people that will be in the mud with you through the struggles as you are enduring. They are the people that are reminding you why you're enduring. Any last words?
I think just continue because the journey is really like there's a lot ahead of you than what is behind you. So don't let anything stop you. If you're on a journey that's looking for a mentor, or if you're someone who is in a mentor situation and perhaps you weren't thinking much of it, it's a big position. It's a big responsibility, and you're changing lives, you're changing people. And if you're a person who's looking for a mentor, a role model, really go for it. Don't be scared. I remember I think a few months ago, there was a particular aspect of the law that I wanted to get into. And I reached out to someone on LinkedIn, like what you said, they're uncomfortable. And I was actually thinking, well, they might respond, they might not. But what's the loss? I don't lose anything. And they ended up responding. We ended up scheduling a call, and these people are like working at a big organization in the US, and they're doing great things. And I just thought, well, what would have happened if I didn't take the bold move? So if you're looking for someone, just go for it. Don't be scared. Just go for it. What's the worst? The worst you can get is a no, or I'm busy. But that's the end of it. But at least you try. So try. And if you feel like your life maybe is at a certain point where you need to make difficult decisions, really be bold about it, go for it. And like what they've already been advocating for, really have a vision, sit down with yourself, be honest, say, these are my weaknesses, this is where I need help, this is what I want to improve on, and go find someone who can help you do those things. YouTube University is there. The podcast Health and Wealth is there. Like there's so much content out there that you can actually build your life on. So don't stop, continue. We're all cheering for you.
Thank you. Don't stop and go as bold as you can. One thing I realized through this life, people are ready to help us. We just have to take that step. One of my mentors that I just started, he just started guiding me last year, is someone that when I emailed him and we scheduled a meeting. I went to his office. The first meeting, he literally told me, I was just waiting for you to come.
Wow.
He is somebody who sits next door to my office. And all the time when he's coming to his office, he would always come into my office, knock, how is it going? How's your research? How far? And I never thought anything beyond that. And when one time I knew that he's doing something that I would like to do, I approached him. He was like, I was just waiting. I knew one of these days you're going to come. And it's just coming from what you're saying to say, take a bold move and reach out to people, because if they don't respond, you don't lose anything. But what if they do? Then never know.
You never know.
So until next week here at Health and Wealth, we wish you luck as you embark on getting your role models and recruiting a mentor into your life to get in the mud with you. So like this video, share it to your friends and family that you're very sure that they would benefit. And also, don't leave this page before you subscribe. Thank you. Bye.